Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to give you a clear and simple introduction economics in just 15 minutes. If you with me only 15 minutes, you'll learn a lot of things about the economics. So economics might sound sometimes very complicated, but it's really about the understanding how we make choices in a world where resources are limited. Let's start the basics. What is economics? Economics is a study of the how people, bus- businesses, and societies allocate scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants. Resources like time, money, land, labor are limited, but we call the scarcity. Because of the scarcity, we have to make choices, and every choices has a cost. The big one is opportunity cost. That is the value next best alternative you give up when you make a decision. For example, if you spend $10 on a coffee, the opportunity cost might be sandwich you could have bought instead. Economics has two main branches. So I'll go to the next slides. So this I've already covered. And next slide, just we need to understand detail level about these are the two branches about the economics. First is microeconomics and second is macroeconomics. So these are the two main branches, focuses on the individual decision. So when we understand these economics, we can easily a quick decision for any kind of the activity. So what is a microeconomics? So how you decide what to buy or how a company sets prices. And macroeconomics, it works like a broader level, looks like a big picture, like a national unemployment, because unemployment we always talk about the country level or state level. Inflation we always talk about the country level, and overall economics growth. And when we understand both, at the heart of the microeconomics and supply and demand. Demand is how much people want a product at a different prices. Usually the price goes down, demand goes up. Supply is how much producers are willing to sell. Higher prices often mean more supply, where supply and demand meet is the market price or equilibrium. So no, this is just a high level understanding about the micro and macroeconomics. And microeconomics also these three things we cover like consumer behavior and business pricing strategies and market competition. And also explain macroeconomics we cover, we understand national growth, inflation, unemployment, and government economic policy. So my next slide will understand what is the supply and demand. So if we understand this picture, it's a very high level picture, like when you see the red line is the supply and the dark black line is the demand. If you this is a very simple graph, and demand and supply. So demand is how much people want a product at a different prices. Just take the example of the iPhone. If the price goes down, demand goes up. Say take the example for the iPhone. Sometimes price goes up, so people will start to buy. And supply is how much producers are willing to sell. And higher prices often mean to more supply, where supply and demand means is the market price or equilibrium. So this is a very understanding about the relationship between demand and supply. And now on my next slide, I'll be talking about the circular flow of the economy. So what does it mean about the circular flow of the economy? So first we just read through money and resource flow in the continuous cycle, keeping the economy moving forward. Understanding the flow help explain how individual decisions connect to the creative functioning economy. So this is a very high level picture, so we can easily understand what does it mean about the circular flow of economy. Like example, household provide labor to businesses and get wages, and businesses produce goods and services that household buys. So money flows in a circle and keeping the economy moving. Just take the example about the COVID. When that time, like all the country, all over the world has stopped working. A lot of people were working from the home, so economy was being stopped at some point. So then government, what they did, what they have started, they started to circulate money and they've started to give money to people, so economy can run with all the country, all over the world. Because if the economy will be stopped, a lot of people will suffer for, especially for the financial crisis and all those things. So that we need to understand every and each item or each activities are related in the economy. So that's the reason I made this flow diagram, so we can easily understand. And also this one, also I just want to talk about the visualizations like a trade-off. It shows when you see this diagram. So these are the three things. Scarcity, we can't have a unlimited amounts of the everything. Efficiency means points on the curve use all resource fully. And opportunity cost, which I talked on the earlier, my first slide, producing more of one thing means less of another. So its curve shows the maximum combination of the two goods and economy can produce with unlimited resources. Points inside the curve mean efficiency. On the curve, full efficiency outside impossible without the growth. So moving to macroeconomics, one key measure is two things we need to understand, like GDP. Uh, uh, Here you can see GDP means gross domestic product, the total value of all gross and services produced in a country. It has a company like a consumer spending, investment, government spending, and net export. Big macro issues include inflation, rising prices, eroding purchasing power, and unemployment, people wanting just job but can't find them. These are the famous relationship called Philip Carr. So that we need to understand what are the terms for the economic. First, we need to understand this GDP and the inflation and unemployment for the measuring economic performance. And my next slide, uh, economics in action. Yeah, just a moment. Yeah. So economics in action means, so these are the points. Like first is scarcity drives decision, market coordination activity, incentive matters, and trade creates value, and policy shapes outcomes. So these are the takeaway when we understand high level about the economics. So these are the takeaway from the economics